Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're here with another feeding frenzy for the 40-day prosperity plan. I have to really think about that now. By John Randolph Price through the Abundance Book. And we are on day, you ready? 30. Nice. I keep my mind and thoughts off this world, and it's in quotes, and I place my entire focus on God within as the only cause of my prosperity. I acknowledge the inner presence as the only activity in my financial affairs, as the substance of all things visible. I place my faith in the principle of abundance in action within me. Mm-hmm. What's that saying to you today?
When you were reading that, I was thinking I'd take my mind off this world, and I know that the activity's going on all around, you know, well, on the inside anyway, and it's, I don't know, it feels good. I guess my mind was racing with all the things that have changed since we started this, and again, it's that repetition, I think, that really works more than I ever dreamed it could. Mm-hmm. I used to think, okay, once I'm aware of it and know it in my head, then that's all I need, because I can't re-know something or relearn something, but that repetition really moves it deeper. And
to where it becomes something that you don't think about
I don't think about anymore. Mm-hmm. Or I do think about, instead of thinking bad, negative thoughts, it's replaced with these other thoughts. For example, you know, we have really good days where we'll get a lot of checks from clients and tithes and stuff, and the money just seems to be pouring in, and I'm on cloud nine, and I'm just really feeling it, and then it'll go 2 or 3 or 4 days where there's nothing, and I start to get down again, and I think, no, wait a minute, it's in constant activity, even when I don't see it. You know, and then I think about the desires and how, you know, it has to go through that process from the desire to the pregnancy to the manifestation, and we're just in that middle part, and it's going to be here. And it really has changed our lives. It's changed mine.
It has.
Tremendously. Even if I never saw a physical manifestation, the way it's changed me on the inside has made all the difference.
Don't you now have a new, I know I have a newfound confidence in me going through this. Before I started this, I was looking for someone else to give it to me.
Yeah.
I was looking for someone else to just say I'm doing okay with this. Just saying I look good. Just say I needed that from someone else.
That constant approval.
That constant approval from someone else. That constant cheerleading from someone else. I needed someone else to cheer me on in order just to keep the energy up to do what I knew was mine to do. But since we started this, I have found a newfound confidence in me, knowing God's got this, and God is in me. So I don't have to worry about it anymore. Because it is a constant activity.
Right.
It's not. So is it easier now for you to keep your mind off this world?
Yes, I think it is. I still have my moments like we all do, and I still have to deal with this world. And I want to deal with this world. Like we talked about earlier, that's what we're here for, is to have the experience of this world. And there's a lot of beauty and lavishness in this world. And there's a lot of good stuff in this world. There's a lot of bad stuff, but it all depends on what we're filtering.
Right.
And what we're looking at the world through. And I think the filters I'm using are a whole lot better than the ones I was using before we started this.
I don't know if my filters are better. I think there's less. I don't use as many. Because I've taken judgment out on a lot of things. It's not completely gone. And I know it's not, because I still find myself judging things. But I don't see it as often as I used to.
Right.
And I definitely don't see that panic come up as much as it used to.
But it also depends on what we focus on, too. I don't watch the news anymore. There is absolutely nothing good for me in the news. I'm more selective about the things I watch and the things that I read. You know, there's only so many hours in a day, and I only want the good stuff. instead of...
Plus, we know too when we put stuff good stuff in, we get good stuff out.
Right. What we put in comes back out eventually. So I'm getting much more selective about the way we spend our time. Well, it's a waste of time, in my opinion, to be in those negative moods and sit there. You know, as you tell me, I don't want to sit in your soup. Well, it's a waste of time to be in those bad spots. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be in them or that you shouldn't go through them, but the quicker we can move through them, the better, in my mind. So that's the other thing this has done, is to help us move through those soupy spots quicker. And so, yeah, it's been a whole lot easier to keep my mind off this world and getting out of this soup, because this world's full of it. And we could live in it if we wanted to.
Oh, sure. I could live in somebody else's drama if I chose to. I could live in my own drama. And then, you know, like we've had a friend of ours say once, when there wasn't enough, I created more drama. Yeah. You know, I just don't find the need in the drama. It just brings upon me so much extra baggage that I just don't want to carry anymore.
You know, one thing that really opened my eyes about that kind of stuff was, I don't even remember where I heard it, but at some point somebody said, you can't be, me being more poor doesn't help that person who's poor. And me being more dramatic in that drama doesn't help that person. Now, me feeling bad for someone who's having a pity party doesn't help anything.
Right.
You know, I can't, it's somebody who's ill. You know, I can't share that illness with them.
Right.
I can't make them any better by becoming sick myself.
That's true.
So, the best thing I can do for somebody who's in illness or in drama or in any negative spot is to be positive. It does not help anyone for me to be more poor. It only helps everyone when we're all in an abundance, prosperity consciousness. And then we pull those up around us instead of allowing them to pull us down. So when I finally got through my thick head, there's no real good reason for me to be in that soup. Then I quit looking at this world the same.
That's good stuff. All right, I'm going to change it.
Okay.
Keep my mind and thoughts off this world, and I place my entire focus on love within as the only love of my prosperity. I acknowledge the love as the only activity in my financial affairs and as the substance of all things visible. I place my faith in the love in action within me.
Wow.
Isn't that a beautiful statement?
Wow, that really helped. It helped me to see that the things we do to serve other people, if they're done in love, the money doesn't matter. Our reward is doing it in love. That's reward enough. The money is just a byproduct, and that's our source taking care of us. It has nothing to do. If I separate the two, to say that what I do for my clients even is out of love, and then if I separate the money from that and just see God is providing for my needs, I think that helps.
It does me too. It does me too.
To take that dependence off of them, you know, that feeling like, okay, if I do this for my client, then they're going to pay me.
Right.
If I just do this because I love doing it and I can serve you by doing it, then take the money off of it, then my client's going to want to pay me more, for one thing. But it doesn't matter if it comes from that client, it could come from somewhere else.
When I just do it out of love, without the expectation that something is going to come back in return from that person, then I've also kept myself from forging a tie that's apt to get broken. Right.
And if I just remember that everything I put out's got to come back in.
If I let go of how it's got to come back in.
If I let go of how it's got to come back in, then I won't have as many resentments and bad feelings about putting out so much energy for this client and them not paying me as much as they should based on the energy I'm putting out. Well, if it doesn't come from them, it'll come from somewhere else. Got to make sure of that.
All right, one more switch. Okay. We're going to make it a little personal now. I keep my mind and thoughts off this world and place my entire focus on Cindy within as the only Cindy of my prosperity. I acknowledge this Cindy as the only activity in my financial affairs as the substance of all things visible. I place my faith in descending in action within me.
Wow.
What does that do?
Well, at first it felt wrong because I thought, oh my goodness, I'm not supposed to just think about Cindy. That seems egotistical and against everything I was taught. And then it was like, oh my goodness, so look at how much responsibility I have. This is all up to me. And that scared me. And then I thought, but I'm God, or God's in me, so it really doesn't matter. I'm just giving him the hard parts. You know, and then and then I thought, wow, that's pretty cool that I don't have to depend on anybody but the real me inside. And that I don't have to wait for somebody to get their act together so that I can make my life matter, you know. It's all right here inside of me, and I don't have to wait on anybody, which you know I hate to do. I don't have to wait until they get their crap together before I can do whatever
Before you
I'm
move
supposed
or
to do.
go on and do what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
So there's peace in that.
Eventually, I had to get through all the muck to get to the peace, but there's peace in knowing that it's all me. It's all me, and I am enough.
I'm glad it's all you.
Oh, just wait. Now read yours, or let me read it.
No, I think that was good stuff.
No, we're not getting away with that today. Give me that. I keep my mind and thoughts off this world, and I place my entire focus on Elizabeth within as the only Elizabeth of my prosperity. I acknowledge the Elizabeth as the only activity in my financial affairs, as the substance of all things visible. I place my faith in the Elizabeth of Elizabeth in action within me. What did it?
It's another one of those self-confidence boosters.
Good.
Now, instead of maybe I'm moving it from God's got this to I got this. And it's not an ego thing. It's not an ego thing. So hear me. Instead of, I'm switching, I'm being able to switch out the titles a little, the words a little, you know, and moving my higher self, the title of my higher self, and interchange it with God. So when I speak from that place, I can say, I got this.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Then they give you a new confidence that you don't have to worry about what people are thinking. You know, you just go out and you do what you're supposed to do, what you know is yours to do. You know, what your purpose is. You can just go out there and be who you are and not worry about what anybody thinks or says or feels. You know? I think it's cool that the more we study this, the more we raise our energy vibration level. And then no matter where we go throughout the day, we're raising everybody else's around us because they can't be around us and not.
Well, haven't you noticed the changes in our kids, even though they don't realize the changes in them? You know, our relationships change. Once we start changing, those relationships have to change because we're no longer where we were when we first started having that relationship. So our relationships change, not for the worse by any means.
No, but I think that there are some relationships that you have to leave behind because they're not ready to change too.
Right.
And that's okay.
It is okay.
That's okay. Sometimes we outgrow other people.
And they outgrow us. Just grown different directions. Right.
So
that's good stuff.
Very good stuff. Shreen.